Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Cassie, and why when I tell you the internet is on fire right now? I mean, it's straight up burning. Because baby Drake just broke his silence. And the way he did it, let's just say the entire rap game is shaking. Yeah, you heard Madrizzy Drake himself has officially spoken out and the target. None other than Kendrick Lamar. Now hold on, before you even blink, this ain't your average rap beef. Nah, this one's personal, deep, emotional, and maybe even a little bit spiritual. Drake didn't just drop subliminals. He came with receipts, screenshots, and even a few bars that had people clutching their pearls. Fans are screaming, group chats are exploding, and the hip-hop community? Completely divided. Some say Kendrick went too far last time. Others say Drake's finally showing his real feelings after staying silent for months. But here's the twist, Kendrick ain't backing down. He fired right back, and when I say he came for Drake's entire legacy, his label, and even some of his closest friends, I'm not exaggerating. Rumors are flying, was Drake's new track actually meant for Kendrick? Did Kendrick leak private convos from a studio session they once shared? And what about that mysterious IG Live where someone claimed to have audio proof of Drake talking wild about K-Dot behind the scenes? This story's got betrayal, industry secrets, and even a few A-list cameos. Everyone from J. Cole to Rihanna has been pulled into the mix whether they wanted to or not. So grab your popcorn because this ain't just beef. This is a full-blown war. Stay locked in, because we're breaking down everything from Drake's confession to Kendrick's savage response. You won't believe what happened next, so listen. It all started late one Friday night when Drake popped up on Instagram Live out of nowhere. Fans were half asleep, scrolling through their phones, when that little circle lit up at the top of the screen. And Boom Champagne Papi was live. No fancy setup, no professional lighting, just Drake sitting in his Toronto mansion, hoodie on, looking like a man who'd been holding something in for too long. His eyes told the story before his mouth even opened. Look. He said quietly at first, voice low, I've been letting people talk for a while, but I'm not going to let certain narratives fly anymore. There's only so much disrespect I can take. The comments section went insane. Over 100,000 people tuned in within minutes. Everybody knew exactly who he was talking about. Kendrick Lamar. The same Kendrick who'd been throwing lyrical darts all summer. Especially after his last verse on that surprise feature where he said something about a king with fake crowns and ghost-written vows. Fans caught that instantly. They knew it was about Drake, but Drake wasn't just venting this time. He looked hurt, not angry. He sipped from a glass of wine, leaned back and said, you know, sometimes it's the ones you respected the most that move the foulest. I got love for certain people, but when that love turns into competition, things get dark. Real dark. Then he paused, took a deep breath. I ain't never disrespected that man. I showed love. I gave flowers. But if people want to twist things and paint me like I'm some kind of villain in this game, let's tell the real story. Oh. The chat exploded. Drake, speaking facts. He talking about Kendrick for sure. What story he about to tell? But before Drake could go deeper, his manager, Noah 40 Shabib, slid into frame. Bro, chill, 40 whispered. Not now. Drake just stared at him, then turned back to the camera. Nah, they need to hear it. We're not hiding anymore. And then the live suddenly cut off. It's gone. Just like that, the internet went crazy. Blogs lit up, Reddit threads exploded, Twitter or X, whatever you want to call, it was pure chaos. Fans were analyzing every single word, every frame, trying to read lips and body language. And just when people thought it was over, an hour later, Drake dropped a snippet on his story. Just a beat, haunting and dark with him rapping. You played humble, but the crown slipped, / I held you down when the town flipped. That one line sent shockwaves through the culture. Everyone knew this wasn't just a friendly jab. This was the start of something way deeper. Meanwhile, Kendrick was in Los Angeles, reportedly in the studio. A fan account caught a glimpse of him leaving with a serious face, hoodie up, phone in hand. No caption, just cooking something. And sure enough, less than 24 hours later, Kendrick dropped a tweet. Simple, no image, no hashtag. Just funny how the loudest ones are the most insecure. Boom. That's all it took. The internet split in half. Drake fans flooded his mentions with owls and hearts. Kendrick fans hit back with gifs of his Grammy wins and lines from Humble. It was World War hip-hop. But behind the scenes, sources were whispering that there was way more to this than just bars. One of Drake's close friends, a producer known only as Juno, claimed on a podcast that Kendrick had once ghosted Drake on a collaboration they'd started 2 years ago. Drake laid the hook. Kendrick was supposed to send the verse, Juno said. But he never did. Then months later, we hear a very similar flow pop up on his album. You tell me what that means. Fans were stunned. People started digging through old tracks, comparing melodies, and even pointing out that Drake and Kendrick hadn't been seen together in the same room since that award show in 2019 when Kendrick barely nodded during Drake's acceptance speech. And then, as if things weren't messy enough, a leaked voicemail surfaced online. It was allegedly a private message from Drake to Kendrick sent years ago where Drake said, "Bro, I see you. I respect what you're doing. Let's make something timeless." The clip ended abruptly, but fans swore you could hear Kendrick's laugh faintly in the background before it cut off. Nobody knew if it was real, but it didn't matter. By then, the narrative was alive. What made it even crazier was how other rappers started taking sides. J. Cole posted a piece, emoji, and a microphone. Fans interpreted it 50 different ways. Some said he was trying to stay neutral. Others claimed he was subtly siding with Kendrick. On the other hand, Lil Baby dropped a tweet that read, "Some people talk too much instead of rap." Everyone took that as a jab at Kendrick. But while the world was debating who was right or wrong, Drake went quiet again. No posts, no statements, no sightings. People were wondering if he was plotting, recording, or just letting the smoke clear. Then, out of nowhere, a mysterious clip surfaced on TikTok. It showed Drake in a dark studio, pacing, rapping something unheard of. The caption said, "Six God in demon mode." The snippet was only 8 seconds, but the internet lost its mind. His flow was razor-sharp, emotional, and angry. One fan slowed the audio down and claimed Drake said Kendrick's nickname straight out, no subliminals this time. And just when people thought the full track would drop, it didn't. Instead, Drake's team denied everything, saying no new music is being released right now. But Kendrick wasn't staying silent either. A few nights later, he appeared at a small pop-up show in Compton. Mid-performance, the crowd started chanting, "Respond, respond." Kendrick smiled, leaned into the mic, and said, "Why respond when I already won?" The crowd went wild. He dropped an unreleased verse right there on stage, talking about puppets with platinum chains and kings who tweet more than they bleed. Fans screamed. Phones went up. Clips hit Twitter within minutes. And here's the thing: Drake saw that clip. He didn't comment publicly, but insiders claimed he immediately called his team furious. One insider told candidly, Cassie exclusively, Drake felt betrayed. He said Kendrick crossed a line when he mocked him live like that. It wasn't about bars anymore. It was about respect. That night, Drake reportedly cleared out his calendar, canceled meetings, shut off his phone, and locked himself in the studio with 40 and a few trusted producers. "We're not leaving until it's done," he allegedly told them. No one knew what it was, but if Drake's history taught us anything, it meant a diss track was brewing, and then came the twist nobody saw coming. As fans were waiting for Drake's musical response, a rumor broke that Kendrick had gotten a call from someone in Drake's circle. Not a rapper, not a manager, but someone personal. Word on the street was that Drake's own cousin reached out to Kendrick, begging him to squash it before it got uglier. And according to that same source, Kendrick said, "I don't talk through middlemen. Tell him if he got something to say. He knows where I'm at." The beef just turned personal. No more subliminals. No more sneak disses. This was about pride, history, and two kings refusing to bow down as the internet refreshed every second. Waiting for the next move, Drake's verified page suddenly posted a black square. The next morning, everything felt calm too calm. No new posts from Drake, no new tweets from Kendrick. Fans thought maybe both sides had finally cooled off. But around 11:47 a.m., Drake's YouTube channel suddenly went live with a premiere link titled simply The Apology. The thumbnail was black and white, showing Drake sitting alone in what looked like a dark studio. Everyone thought maybe he was about to squash the beef. The countdown hit 0. The screen faded in. Piano keys echoed softly. Drake looked straight into the camera and started talking, not rapping. "People been saying I changed," he said quietly. "They say I'm scared to face real bars. They say I'm hiding behind hits. But the truth is, I've been watching who really got love and who just want to see me fall." For a moment, it felt like a confession. Even Kendrick fans tuned in, thinking maybe Drake was ready to take accountability. But then the tone shifted. The piano dropped out, the beat kicked in dark, sharp, and heavy, and Drake started spitting. "You talk peace, but move sneaky, ... I've seen it in your eyes. You act humble for the cameras, but you love the lies you told me, brotherhood. Then you turned to skies, you dropped the verse and smiled when my name got fried." The internet went insane. It wasn't an apology. It was a diss. Within 30 minutes, the track had 3 million views. Fans called it vintage Drake. He was emotional, direct, cutting, and fearless. No subliminals. He mentioned Compton. He mentioned the man who claims the throne but hides from the storm. And at the end, he said something that broke the internet completely. "Remember the studio in LA? I still got the footage." Boom. That one line had everyone losing their minds. Footage of what? People started pulling up old photos of the two in a studio from 2015, wondering if Drake was hinting at an unreleased track or something way more personal. Kendrick's single quotes. As Camp stayed silent for a few hours, but insiders claimed he was furious. One of his engineers allegedly told a friend that Kendrick listened to the track 3 times in silence, then stood up and said, "He wants smoke. Let's burn the forest." By sunset, Kendrick's Twitter account posted a single link, no caption, no emojis. The link led to a song called The Letter. It's dropped on SoundCloud, but it spread like wildfire within minutes. And this wasn't just any diss, was a storytelling masterpiece, the kind only Kendrick could deliver. He said, "I changed, but I stayed the same. I just grew up while you stayed in the fame. You used to call me brother when your crown felt heavy per. Now you call me out 'cause your throne feels shaky." His tone was calm but deadly. The kind of verse that didn't shout, it sliced. He didn't just talk about Drake's music. He talked about Drake's life. He brought up loyalty, fame, and even hinted at a friendship built on business, not belief. But halfway through the track, Kendrick did something no one expected. He played a voice clip with Drake's voice. And it sounded exactly like the leaked voicemail from earlier. Double quotes, "Bro, I see you. I respect what you're doing. Let's make something timeless." Fans gasped. It was the same clip, only this time, Kendrick played it in full. And right after the clip ended, he rapped, "Timeless turned to toxic when you saw my growth. You love collaboration till it steals your glow." People couldn't believe it. If the clip was real, Kendrick had been sitting on it for years, waiting for the perfect time to use it. The song ended with him saying, "It's always the ones who say family that forget what blood means." Within an hour, The Letter hit 5 million plays. Major artists started reacting. Shaw commented, "Y'all both need therapy." LeBron James tweeted, "Hip-hop needed this." Nicki Minaj liked a tweet that said, "Drake been too soft for too long." The whole industry was watching, and fans were taking sides like it was a championship match. Meanwhile, Drake's team went into damage control. OVO insiders told media outlets that the voicemail clip was manipulated audio. One source claimed Kendrick used AI to alter Drake's words, though there was no real proof. Fans started arguing online, some saying Kendrick crossed the line by airing private audio. Others saying Drake started it when he threatened to release footage first. But the chaos didn't stop there. 2 days later, TMZ-style outlets began posting grainy footage allegedly showing Drake leaving a private dinner in Toronto with a mystery woman rumored to be someone once linked to Kendrick's camp. Fans immediately connected the dots, calling it revenge in real life. The woman's name was Maya A.N.R.N.B., singer who'd once been signed to the same label as Kendrick in his early career. Rumors spread that Maya had recorded a track with Drake just weeks ago, and that it was titled Unfinished Business. When a snippet leaked, the lyrics were shocking. Drake rapped, "She told me secrets from the West Coast, said you never kept close." Fans went wild. Was he implying something deeper? Was this personal, emotional, romantic? Kendrick's reaction came swift. At a show in New York between songs, he stopped and said, "You can steal the story, but not the soul." Then he smiled, shook his head, and walked off stage. Fans erupted. By now, what started as a lyrical back and forth had turned into a full-blown saga. Drake's fans, known as the Ovo Hive, were defending him like soldiers online, saying Kendrick was overreacting. Meanwhile, Kendrick's fans, the Nation, accused Drake of gaslighting the culture. Both sides started digging up old interviews, moments where each rapper praised the other, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. And just when it felt like the storm might calm down, a new bomb dropped. A journalist posted screenshots of what they claimed were leaked texts between Drake and Kendrick from 2017. The texts showed Drake asking, "You think we should announce the collab next week?" And Kendrick replying, "Let's keep it quiet until we both ready." The tone seemed friendly, but one line stood out. Kendrick wrote, "Don't let the industry make this fake, bro." That message hit fans hard. Maybe there really had been genuine friendship once. Maybe this wasn't just competition, it was heartbreak. Drake responded indirectly, posting on his Instagram story, "Real ones never fake. Just evolve." No caption, no tag, but everyone knew who it was for. Behind the scenes, both camps were tense. A source close to Kendrick said he hadn't slept for 2 nights, working on something bigger than a song. Drake, on the other hand, reportedly rented out an entire studio in Miami, calling in producers from London and Atlanta. One insider said, "He's going nuclear. He's not holding back anymore." And that's when the leaks started getting darker. Fans began speculating about a mysterious folder circulating online titled Project 6 vs. Nobody knew where it came from, but rumor was it contained unreleased references, voice notes, and verses that would expose what really went down between the two over the years. Twitter spaces were full of fans debating whether to believe it or not. Some said it was just internet hype. Others swore someone from Drake's camp was feeding files to bloggers for clout. Kendrick, however, didn't flinch. He posted a photo of himself in the studio with the caption, "Real ones, write it, don't leak it." It was a direct shot, and the image quickly hit 10 million likes. Meanwhile, Drake was spotted filming something at night in downtown Toronto. Cameras, cars, lights, security. Eyewitnesses said he was rapping in front of a mural that read "The Return." No one knew if it was a music video or a documentary, but one thing was certain: he was getting ready to respond as the tension rose. Fans started dragging other rappers into it. Travis Scott was asked during a radio interview who he thought was winning the beef. He laughed awkwardly and said, "Both of them legends, man. I'm just watching." Even that neutral answer caused chaos. Blogs twisted it, claiming Travis was secretly siding with Drake because of past collaborations. Meanwhile, Kendrick's cousin, Baby Keem, liked a tweet that said, "Loyalty runs deep even when the world fake." Fans took that as confirmation that Kendrick had something major in the works. And they were right. A week after Drake dropped the apology, Kendrick released another track out of nowhere. This one wasn't on SoundCloud or YouTube, it was a live freestyle broadcast on Instagram. "No beat, no polish, just raw emotion," he said. "They told me he's hurt. They told me he's tired. I told them he's rich. not inspired. They told me he'll post. I told them, all right. I told them the truth. Don't need the hype. The chat went wild. Thousands flooded the comments. Some saying Kendrick just buried Drake lyrically. Others saying Drake was about to clap back with a full-blown album. But before anyone could process it all, Drake's close friend and collaborator posted a cryptic message. If they want proof, we'll show them. And that's when rumors spread that Drake was ready to release something that would change everything, not just music. But reality? He wasn't just making a diss track. He was about to expose what he called the truth about Dot. And whatever that meant. Everyone knew the next move would decide who walked away as the real king of this era. And that's exactly where the story continues. Because what Drake revealed next had fans, family, and even industry legends questioning everything they thought they knew about both. No caption, no emojis, just a single link titled "Truth is Temporary." When people clicked it, it led to a YouTube premiere 15 minutes long. The thumbnail showed an old photo of Drake and Kendrick shaking hands backstage at an award show years ago, both smiling. Fans knew instantly this wasn't just a song. This was a statement. The video opened with slow, grainy footage. Drake's voice spoke over it, calm but cold. Everybody got a version of the truth, he said. This one's mine. The beat came in low, eerie, cinematic, and Drake started rapping like a man who'd been holding everything in for too long. We broke bread. Split dreams in the same booth, but you flipped the story. Turn the fam to proof. I gave you space. I gave you peace. I gave you room, but you love war more than your own truth. It wasn't just the bars, it was the emotion in his voice. You could hear the betrayal. Halfway through, he showed unseen clips, behind-the-scenes footage of him and Kendrick in the studio. Laughing, vibing, writing together. Fans froze. The rumors were truth. They really had once been close. The camera then cut to Drake sitting alone, saying it was never hate. It was heartbreak. But then came the moment that broke the internet. Drake pulled out his phone and played an old recording. Kendrick's voice came through. Man, if the label ever tries to put me against you, I'm out. The crowd gasped. If the audio was real, it meant Kendrick had once promised Drake they'd never let the industry turn them into rivals. But the internet being the internet, people questioned everything. Some said the clip was edited. Others swore it sounded authentic. Within minutes, the hashtag truth is temporary was trending worldwide. Drake's fans celebrated it as a victory, claiming he'd just exposed the whole situation. Kendrick's supporters accused him of manipulation, saying this is classic distraction emotion over evidence. Kendrick stayed quiet for almost 2 days. No tweets, no posts. His fans began to worry. Even big names like Questlove and Erykah Badu posted cryptic messages about the danger of recording everything. The world waited. And then, at exactly 11:11 p.m. 2 nights later, Kendrick returned with fire. He didn't post a song this time. Instead, he dropped a 5-minute video clip titled, "Remember Who Started It?" It showed Kendrick sitting on a rooftop in Compton, wearing all black, wind-blowing city lights behind him. He looked straight into the camera, no music, no filters. The problem with fame, said softly, is that it makes brothers forget who they were before the cameras. Before the money. Before the applause. I never hated nobody. I just told my truth. His tone was calm, but his eyes burned with quiet rage. You want to play clips? Play all of them. Play the part where I told you the game was killing us. Play the part where you said you needed competition to stay relevant. Play that part too. Fans were stunned. If Kendrick was telling the truth, that meant Drake's emotional angle was only half the story. Maybe they'd both used each other for music, for momentum, for legacy. Then Kendrick stood up, adjusted his hoodie. It said the line that would echo across the culture for weeks. A man who needs proof already lost faith. The screen went black. No music, no outro. Just silence. The internet exploded again. Even people outside of hip-hop were invested now. News outlets covered it like a political scandal. Spotify streams for both artists skyrocketed overnight. Fans began re-listening to old songs, dissecting lyrics from years ago, trying to find hidden messages or signs of tension. One TikToker even posted a theory claiming the two had been subliminally dissing each other since 2018 without anyone noticing. Meanwhile, people close to both camps were starting to crack under pressure. One OVO engineer anonymously told a blog that the beef was starting to get dangerous. He claimed that Drake had received a threatening message online from a burner account that knew too much. Fans speculated it was connected to someone in Kendrick's camp. Though no evidence surfaced, Kendrick's single quotes as manager responded on Twitter, "We don't do threats. We do art." That one tweet got over 1 million likes. But behind the scenes, tensions were boiling. There were reports of both camps pulling out of mutual brand deals and canceling appearances at the same events to avoid crossing paths. Even award show organizers were nervous, unsure how to handle the situation if both artists showed up. And then came the leak that changed everything. A hacker group claimed they had obtained the full Truth is Temporary studio session files. They said the uncut version had more revealing moments, one of which supposedly featured Drake saying, "Kendrick used me to open doors, then shut them behind me." The files began circulating privately among journalists and industry insiders. Kendrick's team was furious. His lawyer released a public statement denying any manipulation or dishonesty, saying Kendrick Lamar will not engage in a smear war. But even that couldn't stop the storm. The hip-hop community was split right down the middle. One side believed Drake was defending his legacy. The other side believed Kendrick was protecting his authenticity, as if things couldn't get worse. Drake's father, Dennis Graham, jumped into the mix. During a radio interview, he said, "I've known that boy Kendrick. Nice kid, talented. But he should have called my son instead of all this internet nonsense." That comment sparked even more drama. Kendrick's fans accused Drake's family of fanning the flames. Kendrick's sister, Kayla Duckworth, fired back in her Instagram story. "Funny how this same people who say call first never answer the phone?" Within hours, blogs had turned that into headlines. Fans were now dissecting family members' posts like detectives. And then, out of nowhere, J. Cole reappeared in the mix. After staying silent for weeks, he dropped a single called Mediator. It wasn't a diss track, but it talked about brothers fighting over crowns while the kingdom burns. Everyone knew it was about Drake and Kendrick. The line "one lost piece, the other lost patience" became the most quoted lyric online. People called Cole the voice of reason, the middle ground between chaos and clarity. Even Drake's fans admitted the song hit deep. One viral comment said, "Cole just said what we all been thinking." The storm was far from over. Late one night, Kendrick posted a cryptic Instagram story, a single image of a chessboard with one king piece toppled over. No caption. 10 minutes later, Drake posted a photo of the same chessboard, but his king piece was still standing. He wrote, "Still your move." That moment broke every corner of social media. Fans couldn't believe it. Two of the biggest rappers in the world communicating through chessboard photos. TikTok exploded with theories about what it symbolized: strategy, ego, intelligence, survival. Everyone had a different interpretation. And then came the biggest shock yet. Kendrick's official YouTube account scheduled a mysterious premiere for Friday midnight titled Checkmate. Fans started camping out online, making live countdown rooms. Thousands of people waited. When it finally dropped, the video showed Kendrick walking through the streets of Compton at night. Surrounded by a group of kids, he said softly, "When they play for crowns, we play for freedom." Then the beat kicked in, boom bap with gospel undertones. The lyrics were lethal. He didn't just respond, he dismantled. "You chasing charts. I'm chasing change. You built a castle. I've built a name. You love the throne. I love the pain. We ain't the same. We ain't the same." He ended with, "If I ever fall, it won't be to a mirror. The screen faded out. No hook, no chorus, just straight truth. Fans called it one of the coldest responses in hip-hop history, and yet something about it felt final. The tone wasn't angry anymore, it was weary, tired. Like Kendrick was done fighting. Even Drake's fans felt it. That's why when Drake posted a story the next morning saying, "Respect the art but never forget the game," it didn't hit the same. It felt like both men had given everything they had still. Rumors started circulating that Kendrick's track included a hidden verse only available on the live version he performed at a private show that weekend. Some claimed that in that verse, Kendrick mentioned a shared secret that neither of them would ever reveal. Others said it was just fan fiction. But the mystery kept people talking nonstop. By now, the beef wasn't just music hit, was legend. Documentaries were being pitched. Podcasts dedicated entire seasons to breaking down each lyric. People were saying this was the modern version of Nas versus J-Z. But behind all the chaos, something strange began happening. Both men stopped posting. No tweets, no photos, no interviews. It was like they both disappeared at once. Rumors flew that they'd had a secret phone call to end things privately, away from the cameras. Others said they were planning to meet face-to-face in Los Angeles. Nobody knew for sure. And that silence, that eerie calm after months of chaos, was almost louder than the music itself, because everyone knew the story wasn't finished yet. One last move was coming. And when it came, it would either heal the game or end it. A week passed with no word from either side. Fans were restless, confused, and convinced something big was brewing in the shadows. Hip-hop Twitter was like a ticking time bomb. Every post from anyone even remotely associated with Drake or Kendrick was instantly dissected, analyzed, and it was a Friday evening when Drake finally broke the silence. He went live on YouTube again, but this time the tone was completely different. No dark lighting, no anger in his face. He was sitting on a rooftop in Toronto, sunset glowing behind him, wearing a simple gray hoodie. His voice was calm, almost reflective. "I know y'all been waiting for the next move," he said softly. "But sometimes the next move isn't what people expect. Sometimes the only way to win is to let go." People in the chat started spamming question marks. Nobody knew what he meant. Was he retiring? Was he apologizing? Then he smiled slightly and said, "We had conversations. Real ones, not online. And what I realized is, I let this game turn me into something I'm not." The internet froze. Did he just say we had conversations? Fans started freaking out, assuming Drake and Kendrick had spoken privately. But before anyone could speculate further, Drake added, "Music's supposed to connect us, not divide us. And somewhere along the line, we forgot that." And that's when he dropped the real bomb. Next Friday, something different is coming. Not a diss, not a clapback. Something real. "Me and Kendrick made something," the chat exploded. People thought he was joking, but Drake didn't smile this time. "You'll see," he said quietly before ending the live. The internet lost its collective mind. Was he saying what everyone thought he was saying? Could Drake and Kendrick, after months of destroying each other, really have come together to make a song? The idea sounded insane, but fans were desperate to believe it. For the next 6 days, the world waited. Every hip-hop outlet was on high alert. Memes were flying, interviews were being rescheduled. And even Spotify teased something cryptic, posting a black and white image of 2 crowns with the caption, "Friday." When Friday finally hit, Drake's YouTube page uploaded a new video titled "Reunion." The thumbnail showed nothing but 2 chairs facing each other in an empty warehouse. No faces, no hints. The premiere countdown began, and hundreds of thousands of people flooded in to watch. The tension was unreal. The video opened with silence. Then a faint hum. The camera zoomed in on 2 men sitting across from each other, their faces half in shadow. One voice spoke first. "You good?" The second voice replied, "I'm straight." And then, as the light brightened, the faces became clear: Drake and Kendrick, sitting across from each other for the first time in years. No producers, no entourage, no hype. Just two men and a single microphone between them. The music started a slow, soulful sample looping in the background. Numbered drums, no bass, just pure melody. Drake spoke first. "It's been a minute since we talked without the noise. I forgot what that felt like." Kendrick nodded, replying, "The noise ain't the problem. It's what we let it do to us." Then Drake began to rap. The tone was nothing like his diss tracks. This was introspective, heavy, emotional. "I got caught up in the war for validation. Lost the peace I had in the foundation. I wanted crowns. You wanted truth. Maybe we both lost what made us youth." Kendrick came in right after. His delivery, sharp but calm. "I never hated. I just felt unseen. You built the world. I built the dream. They told us kings can't share the throne, but the proof that's never been true." The two went back and forth, trading verses not as enemies but as equals. Every line felt like closure. There were no subliminals, no disses, just honesty. At one point, Drake even admitted, "I let the rumors write my story," and Kendrick replied, "And I let silence do the same." Halfway through, the beat switched. It became lighter, more hopeful. A gospel choir rose in the background. Both rappers smiled slightly as they delivered the final verse together. Two paths. One pen, same soul. They can't divide what was never sold. The screen faded to black, and white text appeared. "For the culture, for the future." The world went silent. Then it exploded. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everything was flooded. People cried, people argued, people couldn't believe what they had just seen. After months of tension, anger, betrayal, and chaos, the two biggest rappers in the game had ended it not with destruction, but with unity. But even then, some fans refused to believe it was real. They called it a marketing stunt,